What's up, everybody? Welcome back to racingnews.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. Let's go to Keeneland, October 12th, race 8 on the card here. A big Saturday of racing, and the headline race will be the Grade 1 Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup Stakes. And going a mile and 8, $750,000 the purse. Field of 10 for this one. Really good race, kind of a lukewarm favorite, morning line favorite at least. We'll talk about them all. So let's pull up on the screen now and let's do it. Let's talk about them all. Try to get another good weekend going here at Keeneland. So field of 10, like I said, one by one we'll go. Number 1 is Pin Up Betty in this 3-year-old filly. It's been 3 races since we've seen a win. This horse was able to win the Regret back on June 1st at Churchill Downs. After that, went to the Belmont Oaks, was close, got 4th, only beaten 2 1/4, lost by a head in the pucker up, and then at Kentucky Downs last time out, lost by 4.5 lengths in a big-time stakes race there, of course, the Dueling Grounds Oaks. So what are we looking for here? Well, I think the horse cannot run the 20-1 odds. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think she'll have a decent enough pace set up to run into. Pretty good jockey-trainer combination, obviously, with Maker and Luis Saez. So I do think there's a lot to like about the number 1 Pin Up Betty. And yes, we've seen this horse kind of lose in races similar to this, but didn't lose by much. Always showed up with a good effort. So I think she can outrun her odds. Can she win? I'm not quite sure. But can she outrun her odds? I think so. Caitlin Her Greatness will be the number 2 horse, if I could speak. Caitlin Her Greatness. And this is a horse that's a really kind of a fun one because she beat the boys last time out at Woodbine in the $1 million King's Plate Stakes. And that was on synthetic, of course. This is a horse that debuted on the dirt, had 4 straight races on the dirt, did get a victory on the dirt, then went up to Woodbine, ran on the turf in an allowance race and won, then went up and, raised up a class and ran in the Woodbine Oaks, got second, only beaten the neck, and then, like I said, did beat the boys last time out in the King's Plate. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the King's Plate, that is a race that is just restricted to Ontario breds. So, yes, it's a $1 million race. Yes, it's a very prestigious race, but it doesn't always have just the toughest fields. But a very good win there. We'll see now if she can take on a Grade 1 company. Another one, 12-1, probably a fair price on her. I think she can outrun those odds a little bit, but can she get it done here against a much tougher field? In my opinion, that's going to be the big question. Number 3 is She Feels Pretty. This is a horse that is coming off a second place effort last time out in the Lake Placid at odds of 3-5, and then was third at 4-5, 2 races back in the Belmont Oaks and lost by 3/4 of a length there. So 2 really close losses after a debut victory at Pimlico. I should say a seasonal debut victory at Pimlico in the Hilltop. Won that one very easy. As a 2-year-old, you saw this horse break the maiden and win the Natalma very easily, and then was third, only beaten a half length in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. So, the horse 6 starts, 6 times has hit the board. Deserving favorite today. I don't think there's any doubt about it. The one thing I would kind of pause with this horse, we've seen her get beat at 4-5 and 3-5. The race where she got beat at 4-5, maybe she shouldn't have been, but that Lake Placid, she was 3-5 up at Saratoga that day, and she should have been. She looked like a 3-5 shot, ranged up like she was going to win and just would not pass. So I don't know. That's a little bit of a concern, I think. Again, probably going to be a short price. Might be able to just get by him today, but I don't know. A little bit concerning that this horse has lost as the beaten favorite in 2 straight races. All right, let's move on. The number 4 is Waves of Mischief. This is a horse that ran in that Dueling Ground Oaks last time out at Kentucky Downs. Got second, beaten 2 1/4, 2.5, I should say. 2 races back, won the pucker up at Ellis Park. That was only her second victory. And I think, this horse, other than the synthetic race that she was in at Woodbine 3 races back where she did no running, the rest of these races have been pretty good. I think the only kind of negative is She Feels Pretty was able to beat this horse pretty easily when they faced each other in their only start. But 2 races back did beat Pin Up Betty. So Waves of Mischief, another one, kind of the 1, the 2, the 4, they all kind of look similar. I think they can run pretty well despite double-digit odds. The number 5 is Soprano. This horse will come in from overseas have been doing a fair bit of running over there and running pretty well. 2 races back, was able to win a stakes at DeVille. Was third at Ascot, or excuse me, fourth at Ascot. 3 races back. Won a race in June at Ascot, a little handicap race by a half length. So got a lot of form. There's no doubt about it. And a horse that is 7-2. We don't know a ton about the horse other than kind of, as far as what we see overseas. We just don't know how he's going to run here in the United States. That's the big thing. But horse been running at a mile, so stretch out to a mile and an eighth here. Should be okay based on pedigree, but it is interesting they have not ran this horse past a mile. The number 6 is oversubscribed. This is a horse that was second last time out in the Lake George, beaten by Pounce. Pounce is also in this race. We'll talk about her in just a second. 2 races back, though, a big winner at Belmont at the Big A and a stakes race. Did it pretty easily, the Wild Applause. 4 starts, 2 seconds, and 2 firsts. Nice horse. I think this is another one that comes in here with a big time chance. You look at Chad Brown training with Irad Ortiz riding. I like that as well. So oversubscribed. Another one in here with a shot. As you look, we've talked about 6 horses. I think all of them have a decent shot at this one. Probably another reason why I'm not going to go with a heavy favorite, because I do think you've got a lot of options in here. But before we get to that and who we're picking on top, let's go for the last 4 horses. Number 7 is Buku, and this is a horse that as a 2-year-old was great here at Keeneland, won the Jessamine, and then came back as a 3-year-old and won the Appalachian to start her season. After that, though, it hasn't been all that great. A 6th, a 2nd, a 6th, and a 4th. So just hasn't ran very well since that win in the Appalachian. Finally, we've gotten to one where I'm just kind of not leaning this way. This is one I'm not going to use, talking about Buku. And I think getting back to Keeneland obviously going to help. This horse is 2 for 2 over this track. And, her 2 recent wins came right here over this track. But she seems to have fallen off form a little bit. I haven't liked, especially her last 2 races, didn't really like them that well. So I am going to pass on her today. The number 8 is Pounce. This is a horse that 2 races back did win that Lake George that we were talking about. Oversubscribed, was defeated by Pounce that day. Pounce is another horse that at times has looked very good. You look at her Here Comes the Bride in March at Gulfstream was a nice victory. Came up to the Appalachian after that at Keeneland. Did not run very well. Got 11th at 5-2. Went and tried to go to Penn National next and run in the Penn Oaks. It was okay, but 3rd, beaten 2 3/4. Like I say, did win that Lake George, and then last time out in the Music City there at Kentucky Downs, 9th, beaten 4. I don't think she's without a chance. She's another one, though, I just couldn't quite get behind in this spot, but I feel like her and Buku kind of the same in that I don't think they're quite up to the standards of this race today. Still nice horses, but probably not one I'm going to use. The number 9 is Grayosh, and this is a horse that beat the heavy favorite. She feels pretty last time out at Saratoga in the Lake Placid. And Grayosh has been a horse that, kind of was getting better with each start. A 3rd race of her career, broke the maiden at Aqueduct, went straight to the Grade 2 Wonder again, got 4th, beaten 2 3/4, went to an allowance race, lost by a nose and a really good effort, just got too far behind that day up at Saratoga, and it was a good allowance race. And then, like I said, 7-1 in the Lake Placid, seemed to find her footing and got the job done, won by a neck. So Grayosh, a horse that's going to be tough. Flavian Pratt has been aboard the last 2 times. He will be aboard again for trainer Chad Brown. And then finally, the number 10 here is Kandala. Kandala is another one coming in from overseas. This horse is by Frankel. So that's always kind of fun to watch a horse by Frankel. Won the seasonal debut at Longchamp in a stakes race, ran in a $1.1 million stakes next, got 8th, beaten 3 3/4, and then kind of dropped down in class for the last 2 races. Ran at a 1.5 miles, 2 races back, was the even money favorite and got beat, and then was 2-1 last time out at 1.25 miles and got beat. Finished 3rd both times. Those were both stakes races of $140K. So, I think with the 5 and the 10, the 2 international runners, I think we can kind of look at this field and go, they're not great horses, so to speak. But at the same time, they can win this race. There's not really any world beaters in here that they have to beat. So, it's kind of good and bad, I guess, when you kind of look at these horses. They're not for me in this race as far as picking a win now as we transition to who I'm going to pick to win this race. I am going to go against She Feels Pretty, even though I I do concede, she's the most consistent horse in the race, but I just don't really want to back her at a really short price. Um, she I wouldn't even really say she's the most likely winner. I almost said, well, she's the most likely winner though, but she's really not, in my opinion. So I did not back her. I did not want to take the 5 and the 10. They're international horses I think are going to get bet. I really kind of wanted a price in this one. And, I looked and looked and I thought, well, how is the number 9 Grayosh? How does that not make sense? This horse was able to beat She Feels Pretty last time out. She's getting better with every single race. She has Chad Brown on her side with Flavian Pratt aboard, and she's 8-1. Now, will she hold it 8-1? I doubt it. I'd say she'll get bet a little bit more than that, but I looked no further than the number 9 Grayosh to get the job done here. So I'm going to go number 9 Grayosh on top. One more thing, stretching out in distance today, I think that will help this horse as well. I know she ran a mile and an eighth, but that was her first try against stakes. Now that she's got more seasoning, I think stretching back out to a mile and an eighth will be good. So number 9, Grayosh on top for me. I'll take her to win the QE2 Cup. All right, guys, that'll do it for a preview of the Queen Elizabeth Challenge Cup Stakes live from Keeneland Saturday, October 12th. That'll be race 8 on the card. Thanks, everybody, for watching this video. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Keeneland on Saturday.